city that never sleeps found itself paralyzed beneath unrelenting snowfall. Street after street in Manhattan and the wider New York metropolitan area lay buried under dense white drifts. Major arteries that normally pulse with traffic were reduced to near standstill. Buses, taxis, and private cars crept along slick, snow-packed avenues, while sidewalks became rivers of slush and ice. Subways ran late, or not at all. Airports canceled flights by the hundreds. Emergency crews worked around the clock to clear intersections, pull stranded motorists from slick roadways, and respond to a mounting number of weather-related emergencies. This was not light winter weather. This was a storm that halted a global city, a storm that challenged infrastructure, disrupted daily life, and prompted widespread warnings from public officials. Here's the important part. This was one of the most significant snowstorms to hit New York City in years, with snow accumulations and sub-zero repercussions stretching across the Northeast. Here's the important part. The storm, part of a powerful winter system known as Winter Storm Fern, swept eastward across the United States before slamming into the Northeast. Cities from Syracuse to Long Island reported snow totals measured in inches rather than flakes, while regions north and west of New York City saw the most intense accumulations. At its peak, the system brought several inches of snow into the 5 boroughs, with weather advisories predicting accumulations between 5 and 9 inches across parts of the metropolitan area. Transportation infrastructure strained under the weight. Domestic flights in and out of major New York airports were canceled or delayed en masse, while commuter rail and bus services suspended operations temporarily. Emergency services recorded hundreds of weather-related traffic accidents, as well as a growing number of calls for medical response teams struggling to navigate snow-clogged streets. At the same time, city and state officials activated emergency measures to counteract injuries, infrastructure stress, and the severe cold that accompanied the storm's passage. The storm that struck New York was part of a larger nor'easter mechanism, a type of intense low-pressure system that forms when cold Arctic air from the northwest collides with warmer, moist air from the Atlantic Ocean. As these air masses interact, the result is a band of heavy precipitation and strong winds that can stretch for hundreds of miles along the eastern seaboard. Meteorologists characterize such storms by steep pressure gradients. This produces heavy snowfall bands and, in some cases, freezing rain or sleet near the system's margins. During this event, temperatures across the region remain well below freezing for extended periods, allowing snow to accumulate rapidly on exposed surfaces. Unlike typical winter flurries that briefly dust the city, this storm sustained snowfall intensities that, at times, exceeded several inches per hour in outer borough areas and upstate regions before tapering off. The prolonged duration of cold air, combined with significant moisture inflow from the Atlantic, is what made the system particularly dangerous. Heavy and persistent snow, coupled with sub-freezing surface temperatures, created conditions conducive to widespread travel disruption and hazardous ice formation.
Getting real close now. It's gonna come out real fast, so stand back.
The geographic reach of the storm extended far beyond Manhattan. Snow and ice blanketed wide portions of New York State and neighboring states, with measurable snowfall from central New York to Long Island and into New Jersey and Connecticut. In the city's core, Midtown Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens, accumulations range from moderate to heavy, disrupting public transit and surface streets alike. Central Park recorded its highest snowfall in nearly 4 years, marking the storm among the most significant winter events since early 2022. Outside the metropolis, the snow extended into rural and suburban regions. Cities such as Syracuse saw more substantial totals, and roads linking urban corridors to outer counties became treacherous, with ice and slush covering major thoroughfares. The combination of snowpacks and lingering low temperatures also meant that melting was slow, prolonging travel hazards in outlying communities.
Every time it fucking snows, we gotta go through this shit in New York. This black guy shit. How the fuck am I supposed to get to the other side of the street? Look at this shit.
Oh my God. What are we doing? What are we doing?
The human impact of the storm was profound. Emergency responders reported a rise in weather-related injuries tied to traffic accidents, slips on ice, and exposure to cold conditions. The busy streets of New York City, usually a testament to urban mobility, became zones of caution as drivers and pedestrians contended with hard-to-predict surfaces. Vulnerable populations, such as the elderly and individuals with chronic medical conditions, face heightened risk. Prolonged cold exposure, particularly for those without reliable heating or shelter access, can lead to hypothermia and worsen existing illnesses. Across the city, cold blue alerts remain in effect, signaling dangerously cold conditions. In Manhattan's transit system, emergency crews grappled with snow piles that impeded access to hospitals, extending response times for ambulances and complicating routine medical transport. In public housing and outer borough neighborhoods, residents reported struggles to clear snow from sidewalks and entryways, further exacerbating mobility issues for elderly and disabled residents. Official figures indicated a troubling rise in fatalities linked to the extreme cold. As of early February, New York City officials confirmed at least 16 storm-related deaths, the majority suspected to be caused by hypothermia. These statistics underscore the lethal potential of winter storms when coupled with extended periods of freezing temperatures and inadequate shelter. In response to the crisis, city, state, and regional authorities activated a range of emergency measures. New York City and state officials maintained code blue alerts, opening emergency warming centers for individuals at risk of exposure. Additional shelter units and mobile warming units were deployed across the 5 boroughs to provide safe environments for vulnerable residents. Municipal snow removal teams operated day and night, coordinating with police and fire departments to prioritize main arteries and emergency access routes. Transit authorities worked to restore service as swiftly as safety allowed, while airports adjusted operations to manage backlogs and reschedule flights. State emergency management agencies coordinated with utility companies to monitor and mitigate power disruptions, and outreach programs focused on identifying at-risk individuals needing medical or housing assistance. Comparisons to historical storms highlight the severity of this event. While not reaching the heights of the devastating February 1969 nor'easter that paralyzed the Northeast with more than 20 inches of snow and claimed nearly 100 lives, this recent winter storm stands out as one of the more disruptive events in recent memory. Meanwhile, earlier regional storms, such as the November 2022 Great Lakes winter event that dropped over 80 inches of snow in parts of western New York, underscore the range of winter hazards a state can face. Yet within the dense urban core of New York City, snowfall of this magnitude had not been recorded at such scale since early 2022, making the storm one of the most consequential in the past several winters. What this event reveals is both immediate and enduring. Even a city with advanced infrastructure is vulnerable to extreme winter forces. Snowstorms of this caliber test public services, strain emergency response systems, and expose gaps in preparedness, especially for vulnerable populations. The lessons extend beyond this one storm. Improved coordination among agencies, deliberate investments in resilient infrastructure, and comprehensive public awareness campaigns can reduce risk and enhance safety in future events. As New York digs out from this heavy snow, the focus turns to recovery, clearing what remains of the storm's imprint, tending to those affected, and strengthening systems for the next challenge nature presents. A severe winter storm is not merely a disruption in routine weather. It is a reminder of the constant need for preparation, adaptability, and community resilience.